Hello, this is Leonard Brannon with Cityscape Schools. I'm the co-founder, CEO, and superintendent, and we're coming to you again on Facebook Live and also on our YouTube channel to be able to answer any questions and to just spend a few minutes with you about what this new school year is going to look like. I know that it's been a change. Seems like almost every week something's been happening. There's been changes been taking place. And as all of you know, at this time, that we will be opening school on September the 8th, and which is the day after Labor Day, which is actually next week, next Tuesday week, and we're just excited about finally opening up our school. But as you also know, we're not going to be opening face-to-face on the first day. We're only going to be providing virtual, at-home learning. And so we want to be able to take a few minutes now and just begin to hear back from you and some of the questions and some things that you might have that you'd like to ask us about this new coming year. Now, we are continuing to follow all the guidance from the Dallas County Health Department and also from the Texas Education Agency. We are now meeting weekly with the commissioner, the Judge Jenkins, and also the medical director of the Dallas County Health Department. And they're giving us weekly guidance now. And they do have a plan in place that will let us know when we can begin to offer face-to-face instruction. And if you go on their website, you'll notice they have different risk levels. Those risk levels start off with red, which is what we're in right now, which means stay home, be safe. But they've given us some indication that in the weeks, possibly in the few weeks ahead, that they believe that we may be going down into the orange zone. And when that takes place, they're going to be giving us specific guidance on how we can begin to come back face to face. So I just want to let you know things can be moving again, things can be changing again pretty soon, possibly. We're hopeful for that. I do also want to encourage you in our community and in your homes and wherever you might travel or where you may be, please continue to do everything you can to make sure you wear your face mask, that you social distance, wash and cleanse your hands repeatedly throughout the day. And I believe if we continue to do our part in our community, that hopefully we'll be able to get back to school sooner face-to-face. So I'd just like to give our Chief Academic Officer, Elder Rojas, just a second to give you a little bit of a summary, if she would not mind, about what our at-home virtual 2.0 learning system is going to be like starting next week.
Good afternoon, families. It's a joy to meet with you once again, and we are so excited as we speak. Teachers have been engaged in a professional learning academy, making sure that they have all their lessons ready, they have all their projects lined up to meet with your students next week. And so we look forward to next Tuesday. Make sure to be up early and ready with your kids and to connect with their teachers. As you remember, tomorrow is Meet the Teacher. And so if you haven't yet, today you will be receiving a link to your child's classroom teacher and with a time frame of when the meeting will take place. We invite you to gather along with your students and meet the teacher, ask questions. During that time, teachers will review the schedule and calendar so you'll know what to anticipate going forward. And again, as we're eager to collaborate with you, I just want to remind you on a few minor tips, and that is that stay informed because, things change daily, as the superintendent has just shared. We get updates from the local county judge's office and the Dallas Health Services. And so stay informed, and we will try to update you as much as possible. And also, the communication is key. So if your child can't attend for whatever reason, make sure to notify the teacher. Make sure that they connect daily. We want to make sure that students are on track because, as we have said before, we may be starting at-home virtual instruction and not face-to-face, but the rigor and the expectations remain the same. And so that starts with day one of learning. Make sure your child is ready to learn. As you have been informed previously, there's breakfast and lunch available for your child. And so make sure that they are well fed and nourished and excited to learn. Your teachers will inform them about the expectations of how long the sessions will be, and then when the break times will occur as well, and will there be lunch time. So the whole schedule will be shared with you at Meet the Teacher. And we also have what we call scope and sequence, excuse me. And that means that when I talked about the rigor and the instructional delivery, that's on pace. You know, we want to make sure that students are on track, on pace, and we want them to stay current. So make sure that they're keeping pace. And if you need any help, please let us know. We spoke to you about having some parent trainings for you. And those are the pieces that we're working on as well. So if you need help on how to navigate any of the platforms, whether it's Zoom or whether it's Google Classroom, make sure that you sign up for those trainings when you speak to the teacher at Meet the Teacher, so that we can plan accordingly to deliver those to you. And so now I'm going to turn it to our Chief of Operations, Mr. Tecuaro.
We have some questions already, and I think you were already answering this. The question is, when and how will we know who the teacher will be for virtual? And you said there was an email sent.
Yes, teachers are contacting parents directly. They have the rosters of their students. And so sometime today, you should be receiving that so you can prepare for tomorrow.
The other question was related. I have not received information, so how late can they expect this information to be sent?
It's 2 o'clock right now, so they're working on it as we speak. If you have not heard by tomorrow morning, you may reach out to the school, but I believe that you should be hearing from them today. That's what we had agreed on.
Okay.
And my understanding is it'll be coming to your email. And so please be paying attention to your email. If for some reason you've not updated your email or you've changed your email, that may be some of the reasons why you may not get the communication. If that be the case, please contact the front office at either school and let them know what your updated email is, and they'll make sure your teacher has that so they can get that information to you.
Another question related to instruction is, how will teachers test the students?
So there's two methods. There's formative, which is constant. There's quizzes, there's daily check-ins, et cetera, to check the progress. And then we also have an assessment calendar where we have mapped out throughout the year, just the way we normally do. But this time it'll be digitally based. And so that's where we ask for your help, because when we'll inform you ahead of time whether it's going to be, let's say, a map test, or there's going to be a reading test through iStation, what we call ISIP. We want you to know that your child's going to have that test, and we're going to ask that they not be interrupted, that they're on target, and very important for them to do the independent work. The most important thing when we think of tests, and it's a measurement, and we assess to assist. It informs us how the student is doing, but also how we're doing with the teaching, because if there's some adjustments that are needed, that's the way we monitor and we make those necessary adjustments. And so stay tuned for more information from your child's teacher in regards to the upcoming calendar that includes tests.
Will they do Meet the Teacher on the Chromebooks? I know that we are in the process of delivering Chromebooks, and I know many of you have already been here or in either one of the campuses. If you don't have your Chromebook yet, you don't necessarily need it for Meet a Teacher. You can use any device, your phone, desktop computer, or any other device, a tablet you might have at home. The Chromebooks are the ideal way for your kids to take the classes, but Meet a Teacher can happen on any device. Okay, another question on, good afternoon, when are we receiving the laptops? Both campuses have released schedules, and they have been, all this week, both schools, East Grand Prep and Buckner Preparatory, have been distributing those. If you have not seen that information, I'm sure they're gonna post it right now in the feeds, in the Q&A sections for Facebook and YouTube. But also, if you cannot find your information, if you have any questions, you can call the office and they'll tell you exactly. If your day was Monday and it's Wednesday and already passed, please contact the office and they'll be more than happy to give you a Chromebook and set you up tomorrow or any other of the remaining days to make sure you receive your computer. There's no more questions so far.
Yeah, let me clarify a couple things. There are a lot of decisions and things that we've already answered a lot of questions about. We have an F and Q. If you want to go online, you can get that right now. It's our parent F and Q, and our staff will be putting that link on into the chat box, either Facebook Live or your YouTube app that you're on. And you can go online right now and you can read through probably 70, 80 questions that we've got at this point of many of the key things that some of you may really want to know about. We also have two documents that we created. One is our Global Learning Community Guide. That is also online, and they'll be giving you a link for that. But that Global Learning Community Guide gives you a lot of the detail about what we're doing and how we expect to operate school, whether it's face-to-face or like right now, it's only going to be virtual and online. But it'll answer a lot of questions you may have. And then it'll also go into a lot of the detail about what is the difference between face-to-face instruction or what's the difference between how we may be doing online and virtual learning and what would that look like. And so you can go look at that document and learn that. And then we also have one more document on there that we call the School Employee Guide, the Reopening School Employee Guide, which is really created for our employees in mind to let them know. Our employees have now been coming back. They've been coming in every morning. They're checking into school. They're following these procedures. If you would like to know what we're doing to make sure our employees are safe, which also means we're making sure that your children are safe, if you want to go look at that document and find that online, they'll give you a link to that because it'll tell you everything about what we're doing, all the policies, all the procedures, all the precautions, and all the guidance we're giving our employees. And we're updating that. And if you see something that has a marking on it that says updated at a certain date, you can see when the most recent change was made to that document. And that way you'll be able to follow and keep up with it as it changes as we continue to walk through this season and this time.
Do we have an idea of how long virtual learning will go on?
Yeah, let me explain a little bit about our virtual learning and the decision that we made. After the Dallas County Health Department recommended very strongly that we do not open face-to-face because of the high level of infection in our community right now, they recommended to us a couple of weeks back that we should not open face-to-face. And so we're following those guidelines. And so the next 4 weeks, at this point, the next 4 weeks, we're going to be operating only online, where your children will be getting all their instruction through our new 2.0 system that we're using, our virtual at-home system. And then after that time frame, after the first 4 weeks go by, we do have the option, according to Texas Education Agency, to have our school board decide whether or not we'll offer it for the next 4 weeks. Again, we're going to be following all the guidance from the Dallas County Health Department. They've really been going out of their way to communicate to all the schools, and whether they're private school or public schools like ours in the Dallas County area. And they right now have come up with a system that will tell us as the infection rate in Dallas County continues to go down, then they're going to recommend to us how many children should we let back in, what grade level should we do. And so we're going to be paying very, very close attention to that, and we will keep you updated. We're going to continue these Facebook Live and YouTube meetings, parent town halls. We're going to continue to do them every week for right now until we kind of get more past this crisis time and all the different decisions that's going on. We want to make sure that you're informed. If you have a question, if you don't know what's going on, you can always tune into this time every Wednesday at 2 o'clock for our English version and at 3 o'clock for our Spanish version.
Who will provide the schedules of classes and recess?
Again, during Meet the Teacher, you will receive a schedule. And let me just piggyback on a previous question about when will you receive the notification for Meet the Teacher. At this point, you should have received it already. I double-checked with both campuses, and teachers started sending the invites yesterday, and they have completed the task today. And so if you have not received an invite for a Zoom meeting tomorrow with your child's teacher, then as Mr. Brandon said, we probably don't have your most up-to-date email. So make sure you call the office and communicate with them your email address, and so we can make sure to send that to you today.
Also, I want to encourage you, when you call and leave your new email address, also update your cell phone information for yourself, your spouse, or other family members that would normally be on our list. Because as you know, sometimes our cell numbers change, our email addresses change, and a lot of times we make those changes and we forget to update those with our schools. So it's really important that we get that information updated. So especially during this time, because all of our communication is going to be done either by text, by cell, or by an email. Now, will be posting things on our Facebook page. You can always find the most latest information on our Facebook page. Or our Parent Square, which is the app that all of our parents can download. Parent Square, if you go online and you download that and log in and sign up, you can then join our community that are able to talk back and forth, and just like it's kind of like a private Facebook page for all of our community and all of our families. And then also the teachers have an outlet that they use, and they communicate through that. They can text you, they can call you, they can send you emails. And so it's really critical that you give us your most recent, most up-to-date contact information so it will stay relevant so that we can get the information to you that you need.
Mr. Brandon, I also just want to say that it's the notice was sent through school status. And so you also have that as a communication, pathway.
Yeah, and again, school status, that communication is only going to be as good as the email that we have for you, or possibly the cell or the text number. And so if you've not heard from our teachers yet, please contact our office, whether it's at East Grand Preparatory or at Buckner Preparatory.
Okay. Yesterday I went to pick up the Chromebooks, but they didn't have the hotspot for none of my kids. Okay, there's two questions here. The first one, if you received a hotspot, you will receive always one per family. So if you have 2 kids, 3 kids, it doesn't matter, it's just one per family, because each one of those hotspots can connect up to 10 devices. So if you need one hotspot for your kids, you will only receive one. Now, if for whatever reason the hotspot was not in your bag, please contact your school, and you can pick up one as soon as tomorrow for EGP. And if you call Buckner, they will tell you exactly when can you pick it up. But we still have a few available, and we will have to check that you qualify for them. But please call the office.
Yeah, I also want to tell you something about those hotspots that we had problems with. Some hotspots last spring, or a lot of other school districts and public schools were having problems with them because it turns out that a lot of the hotspots are limited. Their bandwidth is throttled back, and so therefore they don't give you unlimited data or unlimited speed. They always want to kind of cheat you on that, kind of like they do your cell phone sometimes, the cell phone data. Well, when we purchased these, we made sure that you had unlimited data and unlimited speed. Your speed will not be slowed down, and you'll have all the data you need. So if you have 3 children or 4 children connected to the device, you won't have any problem with all of them hitting that and using it at the same time if needed.
We have another question. Do you all provide bus transportation? We do not have bus service, especially because we service a big area. You don't have to live in certain specific area, so we don't use buses. We have another question. I'm a little confused about the dual language program. I have received everything from picking up packets and meeting the teacher, but I wanted my daughter to be in ESL and was told that I will get a call for placement test and never did.
I know they're in the process of placement test, and so I want to make sure I understand your concern. So you picked up information about the dual language program, but you prefer the ESL program. That's 2 different programs. So if your child qualified for dual language, That's highly recommended, of course, because we are developing a Seal of Biliteracy program so that our future graduates will graduate with a Seal of Biliteracy on their diploma. Now, if you want to deny services for the program placement of dual language, then that is something that you have the right as a parent to also do. And if you deny services and your child is limited in English language, so that they would still be considered an English learner, but they would be placed in an ESL classroom. That is a different program. And make sure to communicate that clearly with the registrar's office. Call the school, and please leave your information so that I will have the director of programs who is in charge of the exams and the placement to follow up with you. And if you have more questions, we definitely want to sit and talk with you so you'll know what are the benefits of a dual language program and also of ESL before you make a final decision.
Ms. Rojas, could you please explain the benefits or the details of why a dual language program would be much better? I know there's a lot of misunderstanding about how a child's language develops, and sometimes parents don't quite understand that. Could you kind of help give them some help on that? So maybe if they better understand it overall, it might help them make a more informed decision.
Absolutely. And I look forward to having a session just on that in the future, because there's so much to really go over in regards to the impact, long-term impact. There's short-term and long-term. So when we think of the dual language program, there's various modalities, right? There's one way, which are all single language speakers, let's say Spanish speakers learning English and Spanish, so that's called one way because it's one group learning both languages. And then there's two-way, which entails half of the population in the classroom, half of the students are dominant Spanish speakers and half are dominant English speakers. And so that's a two-way, because there's two groups of students of language speakers who are learning both languages throughout the day. And so usually the wait list to enter a dual language program is very hard, or it's very long because it's competitive. The reason it's competitive is because numerous studies across the nation have shown the impact in not only student learning, but in their academic achievement overall across the grade levels. And many studies, such as the ones conducted by Thomas and Collier, they have demonstrated how students who participate in different language programs, including ESL and early exit bilingual, maintenance bilingual, or late exit bilingual, and then dual language, the students who participated in the dual language program outperformed everybody else. And so again, parents, we want to make sure that you have all the information before you make a final decision for your child. Both methods, one way and two way, are very rigorous. The ESL program is rigorous, however, it is a subtractive program. That means that the dominant language that the child speaks is subtracted yearly. It's decreased. So they will not be reinforced. They will not learn to read and to write in the home language. They will only focus on English. So it's a one-way pathway to English, and it's a subtractive measure for Spanish. With the dual language, it's gaining both languages, and not just by speaking them, right? Not just in a bilingual sense, but in a biliterate way, so that students also learn how to read and write in both languages at the same time.
Will hotspots be assigned? Hotspots are given out on a as needed basis. So we know that you don't have internet at home and you're not planning to have it, or it's right now one more expense that you're trying to avoid. You can communicate with us, and we still have some hotspots available. If you have internet on your house and you have that in service already in place, you don't need a hotspot. You just need to connect the Chromebooks to your Wi-Fi, and you'll be good to go. This is only for people that require internet service at home and do not have it.
And if you need a hotspot and you've not gotten that yet, please call our office either at Buckner Preparatory or East Grand Preparatory, the offices, and they will let the IT staff know that, and you can come up and get one tomorrow.
What app will the teachers be using this year to communicate with parents?
What app?
App. I believe in the past, some teachers were using different apps like.
Yeah, so we will continue with school status. That has been our top method. And again, what's important, and we talked about for you to stay informed, for you to communicate, and then also to collaborate. And so we need for you to just make sure that we have your most updated telephone number and email address.
And just to clarify on that, school status, the way it works through the system, but on your side, you don't need to download an app. It'll be communication just in text. It'll be as if you're receiving just a text from the teacher. So there's no app that you need to download. Your teacher will be sending messages to groups or individual, and it'll be just like a text message for you. But we just make sure that it's going through the school system.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to add, in case that you're referring to which app for a learning management system, we will be using Schoology. We mentioned to those of you who have joined us on a weekly basis, the state of Texas is providing, TEA, is providing school districts with the opportunity to use Schoology for 2 years. And so we have opted for this opportunity. We are waiting to receive it shortly. They did give us a 30-day window for it to arrive. So initially, you will be contacted by teachers depending on the grade level. For pre-K, it will be through Seesaw. The activities and assignments, lessons will go through Seesaw. And for K-8, you'll be contacted through Google Classroom. And then when we have Schoology, we'll let you know when it's ready to go. We'll be transitioning using Schoology as well.
We have a couple more questions. I'm glad that these questions are coming because we have 3 in a row about dual language. I guess with your explanation, people are interested. First one is, my daughter has been having dual language. She will be in 2nd grade. Does she needs to be tested again? No, right. Once you're in dual language, you're in the program, correct?
Yes, now there are assessments. We want to make sure there's TELPAS, which is the Texas English Language Proficiency Assessment System. And TELPAS is required yearly, so we can measure the progress of your child in their reading and writing and listening and speaking skills. And so, yes, there are some assessments depending on the grade level and also the state requirements.
Will all students eventually be under the dual language program? Both of my kids only have regular classes right now.
We are expanding on the two-way dual language as we move up. Right now, we're only through the 2nd grade, and there is bilingual at 3rd for those who started back a few years ago. And as we move forward, we're going to be offering more dual language programs. But if your child is in general education, then they would continue in that pathway right now. The ideal is for students to start with dual language, the earliest, the better. And so we want to make sure that they start by kinder. At pre-K4, we offer enrichment. And so they're exposed to both languages, but it's more of an enrichment process for the Spanish piece. And then by kinder, if you select that program, the dual language program, then your child would continue yearly all the way through. And our goal is that we're going to offer it through middle school, for those who opt in, if you want your child to continue in the program, and then eventually into the high school years so they can graduate with a seal of biliteracy.
Yeah, let me explain one of the reasons why we've started this new emphasis with dual language. A lot of our student population, over 50% of our children come to us primarily speaking Spanish as their home language. And that's been true ever since we've opened our school. Probably 85 to 90% of our students are Latino students. And so we really begin to realize and begin to see over the years that because we were not often that dual language program, that many times as the children grew older, they would lose their home language, their native language. And so I think it's really, really critical. And also, as Ms. Rojas said a little earlier, which I'm really excited about, is all the data. And not only the data, but also the state of Texas, the governor's office, the Texas Education Agency, they've all gotten now behind this, and they actually are now providing extra funds to us to provide dual language. And they're doing that because of how it's now been proven, how it is so effective in increasing student progress through the years. And I believe that, as I think Elda's already said very well, is that we're going to be able to offer that as we grow up through that. But we had to begin with the younger ages. But we're really excited about being a dual language school and being able to eventually offer that to all of our families.
You already answered that. In what grade level dual program does start? Kinder?
Yes, so
pre-K?
pre-K 4 is the enrichment year, and then kinder and on.
How do students sign up for the dual program?
Make sure you ask for it, parents, because again, we have a wait list, and the earlier the better. If you have not requested it yet, let's say that your child doesn't speak Spanish, and let's say in your home you're English dominant, and you wish for them to be in the dual language program, request for the two-way dual language program. And if they qualify, again, it's based on their grade level. If they qualify, make sure you inform your school that you want your child to be part of the two-way dual language program. Another thing we're going to be rolling out soon is a parent advisory group for dual language. We want parents to be informed and to be engaged as well in the learning process and helping their children with this program.
Another question, are kids also getting books?
Yes, they are. So there's some consumables that the teachers will be informing you tomorrow on which ones your child needs and when. For instance, with English language arts, we adopted Pearson, which is now called Savas, and they have different books. So I think there's like 6, and we don't want to just bombard you at the start of school with 6 workbooks that they're not going to need all of them at once. So the teachers will be letting you know which ones to come and collect for the first 4 weeks and so forth. So make sure not to miss tomorrow. It's very important for you to get all that information on what books your child will be needing.
This has nothing to do with COVID. Are you guys planning to add high school anytime soon?
That's really a great question. Yes, we do have plans and hopes that we'll be able to open a new high school. Buckner Preparatory, that's over on the military Buckner area, right on the edge of East Dallas, or what I call Old East Dallas and the Pleasant Grove area. That's where we opened our new campus last year, and some of your children actually attend there already. We have about 8 acres right next door to that. And so we are already into the master planning process of being able to build a brand new high school there so that we'll be able to go all the way to grade 12. And just like what Ms. Rojas spoke about earlier about some of the goals and some of the plans we have everything to do with high school. And I know that many of you have been very patient as your children have grown up through our schools. And one of the hardest things for us to have to do over the years is to tell our 8th grade students, we're sorry, we don't have a whole high school. And it's really a challenge for all of our families. But we've got to get the city of Dallas to be able to approve that and allow us to do that. And we'll be getting more in touch with you as we get closer to those plans coming out, because we're going to want you to help us contact our city councilman in that area, contact wherever your city council may be, and we're going to be organizing and trying to make sure that the city of Dallas will allow us to put a high school at that location. But we've already working on all the design. The master plan has been done, and we are now going to be getting to work with trying to appeal to the city of Dallas to let us build a high school. If everything goes as planned, we plan to open the high school in 2 years. In 2 years, we'll open our high school and start our first freshman class.
My child was in the dual language program last year in pre-K 4. Do we need to do anything special for her to continue enrollment in the program this year in kinder?
You should have received a notification as to going to first grade in regards to the program placement. And so that's one question that comes to mind for me. Usually it's a continuation. If they're already in the pre-K 4 enrichment program, and then they will continue with a dual language pathway. Should that not happen, please reach out to the school and let them know. We want to make sure that as soon as school starts, your child's ready to go.
Those are all the questions so far.
I want to thank the parents for these questions that are so important. And again, your communication, your collaborations are hugely valued and welcome. And together we can help your child to maximize on all the opportunities that we're working on. And something to keep in mind as well that excites us is opportunities for more languages. So as we continue planning, we have a lot of ideas for the future for middle schoolers and high schoolers that would also involve other languages.
We have more. I received an email from Special Education Department. In case the student feels frustrated and not learning, is there a plan for tutoring for this kid?
I'm so glad that you are sharing this with us. Yes, we do want to make sure that students who are needing additional supports receive those supports. This is a challenging time as all of us are experiencing the same thing, right? And adapting to this new normal. And we want to make sure to encourage our students and help our students. So if your child is needing additional supports, make sure to inform the teacher so that we can plan accordingly. And the special education department works very closely with both campuses, and they have staff at both campuses to ensure that there are those additional supports available to students. Okay.
Okay, well, I just want to thank you again for coming to us this afternoon, letting us come into your home or your car, at work, wherever you might be. We appreciate you asking questions. We'll be back next Wednesday at 2 o'clock for our English version of our parent town hall meeting, and look forward to seeing you then. Thank you.